happening, everybody? Welcome back to Tavian's World of Reptiles. I hope you're all doing well and taking care of yourselves. So I'm not going to be really showing any snakes in this video. It is um, kind of a response to a very tragic situation that's happened recently. As I'm sure most of you have already heard or seen, there was a woman who was recently found dead with her 8-foot snake around her neck, and it is presumed that the snake itself was the cause of the death. Um, and I think there's been an autopsy that's confirmed it just recently, but I'm not 100% sure. Either way, it's very tragic. It's very tragic for her. It's very tragic for her family and her friends. And I know that there are going to be so many videos that are going to come out. Maybe not so many, but there are going to be videos that are going to come out, and they're going to mention that, but then they're probably going to go into talking about the best ways of handling larger snakes, and the dangers, and the precautions that need to be taken when doing that, because we want to avoid things like this very tragic situation that happened. And those are all great, and you guys should totally watch those. I'm not wanting to personally focus on that in this particular video, because I want to keep people uh, focused on what it is that we do and why we do it. We are in this hobby because we love these animals. We make our videos because we want to educate people and share this hobby with them. And maybe not everybody, but those of us, you know what I'm talking about. But the fact of the matter is, I think we all love and respect these animals, and she herself, the young woman who died, loved and respected these animals. She adopted them in. She was had a rescue going, and she believed in educating people about these animals because there's a lot of misunderstandings around them, and she believed in getting people educated about them, and saving their lives and conserving them, and I think that's what we're all about here, right? And I think, terrible accidents happen, tragic mistakes happen, regardless of how that happened or not. And I think even if she were alive and it had been somebody else that it had happened to, I think she would definitely want us all to stay focused on our goal, and that is the preservation and education around these animals. Now, there's going to be a lot of people who are going to demonize snakes now, and they're going to make them look so dangerous. And yes, it's important to talk about how we handle these large snakes safely, but it's also important to remember what her goals were, like her legacy. She would want us to continue to positively advocate for these animals because that's what her passion was. It's what our passion is. And there's going to be so many people out there who's going to take her death and demonize snakes behind it. And I don't think she would want that. I almost know she would not want that. So I think it's important for us all to remember what it is that we're doing here and why we do it. These animals are not inherently evil. They're not inherently violent. They're not deliberately attempting to harm and kill us. And when tragic accidents like that happen, when somebody puts a snake around their neck, if you're not careful when you're doing that and be very aware of what you're doing, and maybe not even do it depending on what size the snake is, you can find yourself in a very nasty situation very quickly. And that's not because the snake is inherently trying to hurt you. Snakes don't have hands and they don't have feet, right? They have only their body, and they use their body to hold on and to move around. And if they are frightened or whatever, suddenly sent into a defensive phase, then they're going to use their body to prepare for that. They're going to tighten their body. They're going to tighten the coil that they have on whatever it is that they're using as an anchor, to secure themselves, to be ready to defend themselves. And if that happens to be somebody's neck, things can get really bad really quickly. And But that does not mean that that snake got put around her neck or went around her neck deliberately trying to kill her or trying to eat her or anything. And I think she would really want people to remember this. Like, if the snake was the cause of her death, anything could have spooked that snake, The snake could not have been feeling well, regardless of what it was, and it caused the snake to constrict, and could have been a reason for why she died. And I think she would want us to know that this was not a deliberate act on the snake's part. This was not the snake deliberately deciding, I'm going to kill this human today. Snakes are not monsters. And that's my whole point today, is I just want us to remember why we are here. Why do we have our snakes? Is because we love them, and because we know that they are not monsters, and we know that they're loving and sweet and beautiful creatures, and we want to continue to get more people understanding and believing in that. And when things like this happen, so much hype gets going, and it is important for each and every one of us to really take a stand and dig in our feet and really start pushing and pushing and pushing how wonderful snakes actually are, and the importance of the species, not just in the hobby, but in the wild. People are out there just killing snakes. And yeah, I mean, this is not including in Florida. I understand the reasons for there, but people are killing snakes just to be malicious because they think that they are vile and evil and dangerous creatures who want to harm us, and they're not. Snakes are not killers, and she would want us to remember that, and I want us to remember that. I want you to just go ahead and just dig in. If you need to make a post on your Facebook, or make a YouTube video, or whatever the case may be, I need you to go out there and use this. If not even use this, just get out there and spread the word of how beautiful snakes are and how awesome they are, and the importance of having them around, and how beneficial they are to this planet and to our hobby and to us as human beings. And just get people understanding more about snakes, because when these things happen, it doesn't matter how rare it happens. And let me tell you, this is extremely rare. Like, I think there's only been about probably less than 20 snake constrictions based deaths, okay, in like since like 1980 something, maybe even before that, like several years. And that's all we've got, is less than like 20, maybe 25. Like that's amazing for all that time, when people like 40 to 60 people a year are killed by dogs and other things. We human beings are probably more violent than, not probably, we are more violent than any other living creature on the planet. And yet we always want to find something like this to demonize other creatures and make them look horrendous, make them look horrible, make them look like monsters, when we are really more monsters than these snakes are. These snakes don't deliberately go out looking to kill us, but we go out and we deliberately try to kill other people all day, every day. So it's all about perspective. And I think if we just keep pushing it out there that snakes are not monsters for her sake, because she would not want her story to be used to demonize these animals that she lived for, that she rescued, that she had a passion and love for. And so, yes, get the videos out there teaching people how to safely handle snakes, but also really just keep pushing those videos about education and love, and of the wonders of keeping these creatures and all the unique individual characteristics that they have, so that more people get to see that side of snakes, and can kind of like overshadow this darker stuff. And we don't want to dismiss her life. It was tragic, but she would not want this be the reason why snakes get banned and start getting demonized. She wouldn't want it. She lived for these creatures. So I don't want to keep going on. I don't feel like I'm just going to keep repeating myself. But seriously, for her sake, we got to make sure we keep these snakes, and these other animals in a better light, because things like this are used to make them look evil all day, all the time. And so people are constantly looking for an excuse to ban snakes and to have them killed off or eradicated. And we gotta overcome that. She would want us to overcome that. She would not want her story to be used to demonize snakes. So we gotta overcome that. We gotta push out all the information we got. We gotta put out all that loving, lovely, beautiful, cute, cuddly snake pictures. We gotta get out there and show all the wonderful, awesome characteristics that snakes have. We gotta go out there and just educate, and push all the good things that snakes do for us and for our planet, and just get people on board, and just take that dark film that people are trying to put on them now because of this, take it right on down. And it's going to be hard, but we can do this collectively together. So anyway, you guys take care, love yourselves, love your reptiles, love your loved ones, and you guys keep spreading that positivity and keep spreading those herbs.